And continuing on the financial planning process of step 4, evaluate your alternatives. Now we are evaluating risk. Risk is just uncertainty. You don't know if things are going to go well or if things are going to go not well. And that's the risk you take. So uncertainty is a part of every decision. Consider in case of money, inflation risk, interest rate risk, income risk, personal risk, and liquidity risk. More on these later, but when it comes to finance, these are the typical risks out of many, many more that we look into. Inflation risk, just what it sounds like. Prices may go up in the future. Interest rate risk, if you're making investments, interest rates may change in the future and you may not be in a good situation depending on what you chose today. Income risk, just what it sounds like. You may lose your job or not get pay raises according to plan or pay cuts. So there's a lot of different income risks. Personal risk, just what it sounds like, could be health, an accident, an unexpected expense. Liquidity risk, that would be things like, let's say you have a house and then income risk kicks in. So now you don't have the same income, so you have to sell the house. But now the house, it's in a bad market, for example. So it's not that easy to sell. So the house became less liquid. This also applies depending on what kind of assets you invest in. If you make investments, some assets are more liquid than others, and it changes from time to time. Financial planning information sources. To minimize risk, gather relevant information from print media sources, financial institutions, and financial specialists. Earlier, I mentioned on creativity, the more information you have, then the more different ways you can get creative. Same with risk. The more information you have, the better you can manage risk. Step 5 in the financial planning process. Now you want to create and implement your financial action plan. So once you know where you are, know where you want to be, know the different ways you can get there, and you have evaluated those different ways and you chose one, now actually do it. Develop an action plan that identifies ways to achieve your financial goals. Possible action plans can be increasing savings, reducing spending, increasing income by working extra hours, or making provisions for taxes. To implement action plans, you may need assistance from others. Could be a personal financial planner. And then after some time goes by, you check where you are and you decided you'd have to revise it. So financial planning decisions need to be assessed regularly. A complete review should be done at least once a year, More frequent reviews may be required for changing personal, social, and economic factors. Things change in life, and you may have to adjust your plan accordingly. Things may change for the better, then you should change your plan accordingly. Regular reviews of decision-making process can help in making priority adjustments to achieve financial goals. Now, I want to emphasize the word priority here because the priorities you had 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago may not be the same priorities you have now. A lot of things can change. Could be either change in lifestyle preferences, or now you have a child, or now you have a dog, for that matter. And your priorities may change because of it. Now, let's talk a little more about the types of financial goals. We went over the 6 steps. We're going to go more in detail on some of those things in between here. Timing of goals. Short term, that's typically within the next year. Intermediate, 1 to 5 years. Long-term, more than 5 years. Long-term goals should be planned in coordination with short-term and intermediate goals. Your short-term goals should not get in the way or have a negative impact on your long-term goals. Short-term, intermediate, same thing. Same thing in the sense of not affecting. So think of long-term goals as your overall strategy. And then the short-term intermediate should be things that you're doing that are supporting that long-term strategy. Goals for different financial needs, consumer product goals, durable product goals, and tangible purchase goals. Consumable, just like the sales, things you consume, and in the short term, to put it that way, it could be other way, something as simple as your groceries, clothing. Durable goods, think more like a car, kitchen appliances, things that are going to last several years. Intangible, health insurance or leisure. It's okay to go out to dinner, go watch a movie, go out on vacation. This is an acronym called SMART, S-M-A-R-T. We call them SMART goals. Specific, know exactly what your goals are to create a plan. So you have to be detailed. You can't just say, I want to be rich in the future. Set an actual amount of money that you want to have by a certain time, for example. Measurable with a specific amount. Measurable in any way. Typically, we talk about money because of the nature of this field, this course, but it just means that something that you can measure, that you can say, I'm getting there. Action-oriented, identify the personal financial activities you will undertake. This is the how. So the S in specific is the what, measurable, the metrics. The action-oriented is the how. Realistic. I would love to say that I want to have $10 million in the bank by next year. But unless I win the lottery, which means I'll have to start playing the lottery, it will be unrealistic for me to say that I'm going to save between now and a year $10 million because my income would not reflect that. I don't make $1 million a month or so. Time-based, identify the time frame to achieve the goal. So you have to put a time. Now, that can be flexible. You just want to have a timeline that you want to stick to. Personal opportunity costs. The opportunity cost term comes back up again. Every financial decision involves giving up something to obtain something you consider more desirable. Personal resources like financial resources require careful management. But also, aside of financial resources, these personal resources are like health, abilities, knowledge. These are not actual money, but let's say you might get a job that has a high income, but has a high risk because you're exposed to chemicals all the time. So your health might be given up here. That's just one example of opportunity cost in a situation tied up to income. Financial opportunity costs, financial choices depend on current needs, future uncertainty, and current interest rates. This is where the term time value of money comes in. Increases in amount of money as a result of interest earned. This is something that most people are familiar with. You can put some money in an investment today. There is risk and uncertainty, but then the goal is that sometime in the future, you will have more money. And we're going to call that interest earned. It doesn't have to be like a bond specifically or some type of interest earning tool. If you put it in a stock and it grows, we call it capital gains, but it's the same concept. You earned some money at a certain amount, certain rate of return. So we have saving or investing. Now, for this class, you're going to see how we say savings. We also call it investing. Just to take a moment to clarify this. So yes, you're going to need a savings account, something with actual cash in it. It's not growing, it's not being invested, but it's actual cash in there. That's your emergency fund. But then there's this broader concept of savings, meaning that once your emergency fund is at a healthy level of cash, then you continue to save money, but you don't put it in your savings account. You move it into an interest earning account. You can start money markets, CDs, bonds, or brokerage accounts. That's the investing side. It's still money you're saving, but it's not in a savings account. Today means more money tomorrow. So savings today means more money tomorrow. Spending means lost interest. So any money you spend now does not grow into more money in the future. And that's just the basic time value money concept. Saving and spending decisions involve considering the trade-offs. Current needs can make spending worthwhile. Of course, you have to buy food to eat. So that spending has to happen. Another thing too, there's nothing wrong with some spending on leisure. It's okay to enjoy life, but at the same time, don't overdo it. So you're still putting money on the side for your investments in future. So this concept of putting money aside now to grow and earn gains through a rate of return or interest, we're going to call that future value. And typically is always based on compounding interest. There's a thing called simple interest. It's very uncommon, if almost non-existent. So we're going to focus on the compounding interest. Let's go straight to the example. That's the easiest way to explain this. Future value of $100 that is going to earn a 6% return. Let me get out of there. Future value of $100 that is going to earn a 6% return on account in 1 year will grow to $106. Easy to see is $100, 6%, 1 year. You add the $6 to the 100. That's the amount. It's computed. Now that's the amount, but this is computed as follows. We have a formula for that. So here we are missing a 1. So if you take the $100 and you multiply it by the 6%, now we have to put a 1 in front of it to reflect the growth. You see, the 1 in front of the 0.6, it's a way to account for the $100 that you're putting in. And then the 0.6 is going to be that 6%. But since you only do it for 1 year, we put 1 year, you have $106. And that is a simple way to calculate future value. Later on, we're going to show the more sophisticated way to calculate. Is very similar to this formula, but it allows you to count when you have more than 1 year, which is not as simple as just saying 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. No. But this is the case, the simple case of the 6%. And we just call it future value. You put in money now, it earns interest, and the future as your future value. So if I put in $100 today, earn 6%, I end up with 106. Then we have the flip side, or the opposite side, we call present value, which is then if you want a certain amount of money in the future, then how much money you need today. So it's pretty much the reverse of future value. So here we said in future value, $100 at 6% in 1 year, $106. But if I was to say it differently, if I want $106 in the future and I can earn 6%, how much money do I have to put in today to achieve that goal? And that's what present value would do. It's like calculating in reverse the same number, and the number will tell you $100. So you can either tell, I have this much money, this interest, how much in the future? Or you can say, I want this much in the future. I'm going to earn this interest. How much money do I need to put in today? How much is it worth today? And that's what present value does, is the reverse of future value. Developing a flexible financial plan. I mentioned this earlier. You want to have a plan and set it up and stick with it the best you can. But understand that nothing in life goes perfectly as planned. You have to allow flexibility. Emergencies come up. Those risks that we talked about, personal health risk and income risk, if those things change, you're just going to have to adapt and be flexible to it. Implementing a financial plan, develop good financial habits. Habits is the key word here. At the beginning, it may feel difficult to stick to the financial plan. But as time goes by, it's easier to keep with those habits. Use a well-conceived spending plan that helps you stay within your income while allowing you to save and invest for the future. Have appropriate insurance protection to prevent financial disasters. We are going to talk about insurance later on in this course. And become informed about taxes and investments to expand your financial resources. As we mentioned earlier, get more information because it lowers your risk and it gives you more options and creativity on how you can develop a financial plan that works best for you. And that's it for this video.